about to go live.
No, you're good. Oh,
No, you're
we're
good.
live.
Oh, hello, people.
I got an intro video somewhere. There it is.
A man flying through Manhattan. Street lights glow beneath his cape. Batman brooding in the shadows. Joker's laugh makes heroes quake. Red Slinger swings through the skyline. Green Goblin flies with hate and rage. Wonder size in the Amazon kingdom. Villains sneaking off the page. Can't you see they're just like us? Masked in capes hide the pain. Heroes fall like mortal men. Comic books lie in the rain. Flash runs fast, but time won't stop. Cyborg hears the ticking clock. Aquaman in his ocean deep. Justice fought but never keeps. Behind the mask, the latest scars. Super strength can't hold their tears. Gadgets break and powers fade. Heroes dying facing fears. Invisible jet lost in the night. As dark crumbles from the fight.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show.
Dude, I swear the beginning of that song
Hello.
sounds like Billy Strings.
Okay. Don't hear it, but
Dude, where's my car?
Dude, where's my car, man?
where's your car or where's your book? Where's your comic?
Tattoo something. What's it say? What's it say? Sweet. I don't know, cool, but what's it say? What's it?
It came in the mail today. Finally.
What is
Oh,
that?
Frankenstein Alive.
Bernie Wrightson.
Yeah,
Ooh, that looks cool.
nice.
Very
So is that
very cool.
contain any new stuff or is it just the...
I haven't read it yet, but I'm very happy.
Yeah, for sure. Because I see Steve Niles is listed on there too.
What's up, everybody
You know
in the chat? We got Phil, we got Chef, we got JSS,
Where
we
is
got
my
Jay, Agu, TM. What's up, everybody?
Glenn,
Yes.
you recommended a book.
Yep. Oh, the NLP book?
Yep. And
Yep.
I couldn't remember if you told me who the author was, so I wound up getting The Essential Guide to Neuro-Linguistic Programming by Tom Dotz and Tom Hoopyar. Is that the right one?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a couple of them, but yeah.
Okay, so it's
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a whole
forgot.
science. It's
Okay.
That sounds fascinating.
it's cool stuff.
All right.
We're getting taken down again.
Yeah.
Not for that short of a clip.
Don't think for a 3-second or 10-second clip.
Oh, I knew though we were pushing
Hey.
the for that Chuck Norris, Bruce Lee fight though.
Yeah.
We knew going in.
Yeah,
Wasn't that kind of creepy when
That's
it
why I
goes,
mentioned it going in because I didn't have a chance to run them through my little process. Because
thing I like
I can
about
take
high
the
school
clip,
was-
upload it, and if it gives me a warning before I ever even post it, then I just won't use it. And that's always worked. But I didn't do that today.
what was that? The guy, this comedian did this. I've talked about this so many times. It was Werner Herzog as Wooderson from Dazed and Confused. He's like, you know what I like about those high school women? I get older, and they don't realize the futility of life.
Dude, I freaking love this Spider-Man one still. Stop.
Yeah, Hulk,
Nefarious villain.
nefarious villain. He says, but what is crime really? You can go.
You can go.
You can go. Really.
And I'm like, way to do your
Not
job,
really.
Spider-Man.
You
Way
can
to
go.
do your job, dumbass.
And they're sitting there going,
Oh, I got to show you guys something.
who was it?
Stop
Green
the
Goblin sitting there
nefarious
going
Max.
like, yeah, he's wacko.
Jay, are you okay?
Jay, you awake?
Okay,
Right.
he's alive for now.
As long as you're
I'm
alive.
still convinced that Chuck Norris was the one that flagged it because he didn't want to see any video footage of him getting his ass kicked by the.
Dude,
Yeah, for real.
I think they
No, you know
flagged
what
it for not
really
being
I
fact
think
checked.
set. You know what I really think set it off was the cat.
The cat.
Especially the cat.
Meow.
Yeah, the cat. Cat was pissed
Yeah,
off about it.
that meow is copyrighted. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Meow. Uh-oh.
Oh no, we're gonna get copyrighted again for saying it.
It's like,
Oh frick!
wow.
My freaking
You know, you can play
elbow is
commercials. You know,
jacked.
it's odd though. You can play commercials.
Yeah.
Yeah, which
Like I
is
see
funny.
people play
It just
open
broke
mic
got
all
it
the time.
right. Here we go.
Oh,
Chuck Norris flagged YouTube, not the other way around.
yeah, for real.
Well, I thought about downloading a clip of that Flintstones commercial for Winston cigarettes and playing it every now and then. Now, a word from our sponsor. Here's Winston cigarettes.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, what are they going to do? They don't even advertise
yeah.
on TV no more. I see
Hey,
people
Hey,
what
what's
up,
up,
commercial all the
Ian?
time. Strange dog.
God.
Meow, 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 meow. I feel like I'm singing that Friskies. Was it Friskies? Or no, Meow Mix. They go meow, 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 meow. That also reminds me of Super Troopers. Remember, he's like, license registration, meow. He says, did you just say meow to me, officer? Because
No,
I don't know what you're talking about, meow.
how you feeling right now?
They did an extra one. If you actually count it, you
Yeah.
know, when he comes back at the end, he goes, "Meow." He had already
You
got
guys
it.
watch
He had
the
already got
show
it.
with the Super Troopers guys, Tacoma FD or whatever?
Yeah,
What, Will?
I heard it was a decent show.
dude,
Oh.
the daughter is fucking
Oh,
smoking
Tacoma,
hot.
Oh
Tacoma
yeah, I
FD
know who
is a-
exactly you're talking about.
Tacoma
Yeah.
Fire is that show's hilarious. Where they're firemen,
Yeah, the daughter's gorgeous.
got all the
I
broken
forgot
little
what her
hot
name
most
is.
of them.
The daughter.
Yeah, I think that's
Hey, Mark.
Barbara's
You back there, man.
real daughter.
I only got room
Where's
for
Mark?
6, though.
Oh, is he backstage?
All right,
Yeah.
I'll be leaving in a minute if he wants to come in.
Someone leave. I want to catch up with Mark.
Everybody leave. Mark's trying to come in. I'm just kidding.
There's a line.
Go away, Jay Thompson.
If he wants to come in right now, I could give him my spot and come back later. And I'll just talk to y'all in the chat because I got to lay down for a minute anyway. I don't feel good.
Okay, man. Feel better.
I love
Yeah.
you guys, man.
Yeah,
I
we'll
love
see you in a
you.
Feel
bit.
better.
Hope you feel better, man.
And
What's up, Mark?
Mark.
I wasn't trying to run nobody off. I was cool chilling till whenever.
Matt was saying he wasn't feeling good. He wasn't going to be here too long.
Mark, you ready for my appearance on Wednesday?
No.
For Guess That Key, come on.
No,
Mark.
nobody's ready for Will.
Guess That Key is going to be so much fun that day.
No. I deal with animals all day at work, children
know
all
you
day when
do.
I'm not at work, and now I have to deal with you in the evening time.
I know, right? You torture me.
It's like an underground version of called
You
bootleg
do,
Spider-Man.
man. You really do. By all means, have one.
So how are you doing, Mike? Besides,
You look at Spider-Man's old lady in the bootleg comic.
Oh, my
Jesus
God.
Christ! What the hell
Hey,
happened to her?
You can run around her once and get lost twice.
And this is what he looks like. This is what he looks like when he takes his mask off.
Is he ugly as hell? Oh God! What the hell?
It's V.
What comic is that?
It's V from
It's from a guy named Monty Keene. It's like a bootleg underground guy. He's got his own website, but he's made 2 different bootleg Spideys. They're entertaining.
Yeah,
God, I'm scarred for life now.
that's hilarious.
Well, I mean, what's wrong with a lady that size getting her love? She deserves it too.
Wait, what is that? What book is that? Mark?
Deserves is a strong word, I think.
Is that Turok?
Yeah, this is issue 0.
0.
The cool Rags Morales wraparound on that.
I'm gonna
Oh,
get a
yeah.
Turok one signed by Mark, and then
Right.
I'm gonna get another one signed by Mark.
Oh, dude,
And then I'm gonna
Voggy,
give it to him.
good idea, bro. Like, you know, like You know, like the blanks that people bring to Heroes Con and they get
Yeah,
everybody to sign.
That's what
like
I did last year.
Yeah, dude, I might take a Turok 1 to do that with it.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Like I'm trying to think of ways to make different ones unique. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
That'd be a cool thing to do. But you'd run out of space so fast with it.
Yeah, that's the problem.
That's
You know what would be a cool one, Mark?
There's so much going on that cover.
Mark,
Well, I wouldn't mind it covering stuff up, but I mean, you really only have like so much space on it because it's not a blank. So, like, I don't know how good you'd be able to see it and stuff.
Maybe like a black marker.
I legitimately am going to try to get people to go out fishing for them while they're walking around the con. Because I'll be at the booth a lot of the time, you know. So, just bring them back to the booth and I'll give you $1 for them, you know. I think that'd be a fun video to put together.
I think that would be a blast.
See how many Toroks show back up at the booth.
Yep. Can't wait to see.
One of my plans is to spend a lot of time in the dollar boxes. So
looking forward to seeing you.
You're in the right spot.
Hey, Mark, looking forward to seeing you again, man. Really
You too, bud.
Hey, so I thought of an idea for the Turoks. Have Monkey and Finn, who, if either of them like drawing or doing like doodle art, have one of them custom one.
Well, but again, the problem is they're not blanks.
Yeah, that's true.
It's really not easy to do.
Well, I got something to open up.
How's Pops doing?
I got another one of these with the Starfire on it.
Oh, that's that newer series they did.
Nice.
Was that a Nicola Scott cover?
I have no idea.
Should say it on the barcode potentially.
All right, but I'm rapidly fading.
Good night, Jay.
Nicola Scott. Yeah.
Later,
Jay's
Jay.
leaving. Good night, Jay.
Good night, Jay. Y'all go away.
Good night, Jay.
Yeah. I love that shirt.
Ooh, nice. Nicola Scott.
Where's Travis at? He can join now.
I don't know.
Yeah, I know somebody that wanted that, so I picked it up. And it has this on the other side.
Oh, that's pretty wild. It's like a saucer for a face.
It's a Spider-Man #1 variant that
Who wanted the Starfire?
Who did that cover?
I don't know. I got to open it to find out.
That's asking too much. That's just, I don't think I've ever, it doesn't look familiar at all to me.
Kevin, who asked for the Starfire?
Where's my
Let me see. It's Ultimate's, it's actually Ultimate Comics Spider-Man.
Oh, by the way, Mark, this is Glenn. Glenn, this is Mark.
You said it's Ultimate Comics Spider-Man?
Yeah, Ultimate Comics Spider-Man #1.
Hey, Glenn.
Hey.
He'll be at Heroes Con too.
Glenn. Oh, I did a check value, not a look up the thing.
Oh, Matt said he'll be hunting for Turoks for you, Mark. I know you will, Matt.
Cover artist is La Fuente.
Yep. Well, the interior artist. So.
Well, it says cover artist is La Fuente. Who else is it got? Artist David LaFuente, cover artist David LaFuente.
What year is that about at? Like 2012?
2009.
Pittsburgh Comic Con.
Hey, Matt, can you, or Kevin, can you like pull your camera back a little bit? It's a little close.
It's known as the David LaFuente variant. So
perfect.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's pretty
That
cool.
is cool.
Oh, it's a wraparound.
Oh,
nice.
Interesting. Very cool.
Yeah, it's
Spider-Man.
It's the alternate of the first Miles Morales, or the second Miles Morales.
Right.
Oh, very cool.
Okay, cool. So I was trying to find the year, but they don't have it.
He said it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, 2009, I think.
9. Okay. Oh, cool. It's one I don't have. I like that. That was worth the $5.
There we go. Now we're talking.
Yeah.
So Valiant Comics, Nintendo 64 goodness, Shadow Man.
Harbinger #1.
That Shadow Man game was super hard for me as a kid. I need
Harbinger of Sorrow.
That.
Right. Shadow Man. I don't even remember that. It was on stream. Oop. I never did stream. I was
Frank,
not in that age group.
I don't know.
Frank
I don't know what
Frazetta.
streaming means.
That's cool. I like these. The
Mhm.
Masterwork series DC did.
Oh,
Frank
Wow.
Frazetta.
His great niece was one of my customers at the
Sarah?
channel.
No, that's his daughter. I'm sorry.
No, it's great niece. She doesn't like. I've talked to her about.
Yeah, the
Like,
Frazetta girls.
It ain't like she knows him or anything or knew him. You know what I mean? She's related, not associated.
Quantum plus Woody.
Oh, there you go. Shadow
Man.
Number 1, Valiant.
Interesting.
Has some good art in it.
Like pretty good art.
Yeah, hell yeah.
She is probably the best inside comics that I've gotten in a while in one of these packs.
Yeah, Chris mentioned that Ollie isn't going to be reloading their inventory for the packs, just the ones that they have or what they're going to. Yeah, that's what he. From what he heard, he said they weren't going to reload comics in general, which is that's wild to me.
No doubt. God, I hope that's wrong.
Yeah, I love tapping the Ollies to get the trades and hardbacks and stuff.
What's this?
I have no idea. Walmart egg. It's got some candy in it. Smarties, which I like Smarties. So it was $1. So it's probably just got Smarties in it. So I'm like, why have Spider-Man on there if there's not something,
I hope they're at least shaped like Spider-Man for you.
I know, right?
Even though go Team DC, by the way.
Well, at least I got a big giant egg out of it.
They're not even.
They're Canadians. They're Canadian.
For a roll of
no, those are Smarties. They're That's what they're called in Canada.
That's exactly what they look like here. That's exactly what they taste like here. They just don't come in an egg normally.
Yeah,
and they're Canadian. Not usually that short either. They're little short rolls.
Yeah,
Boy, they got me there.
That is hilarious. You just paid $1 for 4 short
for 4 little bitty rolls of Smarties. Oh man, it had Spider-Man on it.
Yeah.
Dang.
Or sorry, no. Canadian Smarties are M&M, like they're M&Ms.
They're like M&Ms. Yeah. Okay. Right. Yes. I have heard that.
Glenn, remember to bring
Smarties here. These things
to the car.
Yeah, they're really good though.
Yeah, I do like my Smarties though. All right, I guess
I told you, Will. I'm bringing all dressed in ketchup chips.
Yes.
I got this because it's got the C22 on the bottom.
What? Don't tell me what.
I'm gonna have to ship it to Matt
because
I'm going on the plane. I can't be bringing. I could bring you like little bags.
Oh man, I didn't get Temple Fortress.
You could bring little bags.
Yeah, this little number on the bottom. You can look up C22 for Pokemon 10. And it'll tell you what the possibility of packs are that comes in that particular team. So you can avoid the ones that are common.
Wait, you got Pokemon and didn't have to fight off crazy people?
No, I just had to stand there while the vendor put the stuff up with 5 other people and
Kevin,
then split the
what? I wonder if
stuff.
Kevin, I wonder if Mark's from the comic shop that you're going to in Macon tomorrow.
Were they all after Pokemon as well, Kevin?
Oh yeah, there was 2 guys there for baseball and football, and then there was 5 there for Pokemon. And I was really there for One Piece. I was like, well, I'll take some Pokemon while I'm here, especially since she actually had a bunch of stock.
Now, do you play?
No, I just collect the cards.
The One Piece is huge here. Like they do all the gaming stuff here.
Those are some cool cards.
Yeah, the One Piece is consistent, and Pokemon is like exploding all over. Like it's never been slow, but it's like re-exploding.
Yeah, I mean, like right now, I cannot find them at dollar stores. You could always find some old packs at dollar stores.
Yeah, they can't even keep them on the shelf here. They've got it down to where people come in and ask if they have them, and he's like, I'll be honest with you, we have a shipment coming, but unless you're signing up to play in a tournament, I can't even promise you packs.
Exactly.
He lets like the people that play get first priority because Pokemon dealers, they allocate you based off how many people are playing because they track the tournament numbers of players, and they want to make sure that people that are actively playing have access to cards.
My LCS she ordered 6 cases and got 6 boxes.
Wow.
So, Kevin,
wow.
what's that shop in Macon you're going to tomorrow?
Oh, look at this. I got something.
Okay, never mind.
Give me just a minute now. Boom.
Jolteon.
Cool. Full art card. I like the Sword and Shield. I like them better than the Scarlet and Violet. That's cool looking. Rare too.
Pokemon Power.
Fanboys is the name of the store. They're a pretty big store. They're the biggest one in Middle Georgia now that Comics Plus closed down. But again, you know, they're really big, but 2/3 of the shop is gaming, cards, you know, Pokemon and Magic and One Piece. But they do have some awesome dollar boxes.
Kevin, you're going to have to drive to ABX one day. I really think you should make the voyage.
ABX ain't a crazy big store. It's just what a comic shop's supposed to be.
Right.
My LCS I go to, Rebel's not that big either.
The bigger the store, you lose the touch. It just feels like you're going in a Walmart or a Target.
Exactly.
Yep.
But Will, you've got Heroes, the
Or
store
hard
right
to find.
there.
Yeah, I go to Rebel
right.
because it's easier. Heroes is near Uptown and it's a little more crazy.
But it's a proper comic store.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Rebel. I just feel more comfortable with Rebel. I love Rebel. They're really good to me.
Right. Per ugly.
Yeah, freaking stupid ass. What the is that a wagon?
Yeah, Switch cart.
Stupid.
That might be worth 20 cents.
No, like a nickel.
No, usually the accessories like that, or wherever it went. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. The trainer cards are a little bit more than your common cards.
Where's Kia? But I tell you to jump in. I guess you.
At least according to TCG.
Now looking at pictures, Rebel seems cool too.
Rebel based comics and toys? Yeah, dude. It's a fun shop.
Yeah. The cool thing about Fanboys is they've got a lot more than my LCS. Because my LCS, they might get 2, maybe 3 variant covers. Or 2 variant covers in the A cover at most. But the one in Macon, they do enough business that they get more of the variant covers. And I can even pick, like, I'm pretty sure they'll have Bug Wars. My LCS never got a single issue of Bug Wars, which is weird. It's an Image comic. You'd think they'd at least get a few of all the Image comics.
Image sure does make a lot of comics, though.
Yeah. I can understand not getting all 400 variations.
All right.
As long as they get Ghost Machine, you're good to go.
Too many titles for me. I'm reading too many now. And I tried to lower it in this order I made yesterday. And it just
didn't work out for you.
DC's putting out too much good shit for the Superman thing. I want to read the Dan Slott, Superman Unlimited, the Supergirl.
Yeah, the whole Summer of Superman initiative they're doing. They're taking advantage.
I don't even like Superman that much, but I can't resist it.
because everyone
they got working
down
on
inside, down here where it counts. You love Superman.
Yeah, come on, Kevin. Show your inner DC.
It's all those years of watching Seinfeld got to me. That Superman sitting on his desk every episode.
Subliminal marketing.
Yeah.
My problem, I'm only keeping up with ASM. That's it.
What a strange title for only one.
Because I've got from
I'll
volume
put that
1
there.
all the way to current, I'm only short about 40-something titles, and I have everything.
Well, I've got all the Ghost Rider books, but what's the other one? Like there was one I was talking about yesterday, even Flash. Like I don't want to break the run, but it's so freaking bad that I'm not even reading it now.
Yeah.
Like I'll literally get the book and I'll flip through it like Johnny Number 5 from Short Circuit just to see if there's anything that stands out as overly significant. And then I just put it up and I'm like, I can take this off my pull list and just go back and collect this particular writer's trashy run later at $1
probably.
And you know, I enjoy hunting and completing dollar. Like I'm doing it with Turok now. You know, just it's fun to have affordable stuff to hunt that you're interested in or have a little goal.
I'm putting together a John Sable freelance because I like Mike Grell. I remember reading that run back in the 80s when I was a kid.
Super cool, dude. Super good guy.
And I can put that whole run together for next to nothing. Yeah, out of
well,
dollar.
make sure you bring it with you to Heroes.
Mm-hmm.
Mike will be there.
Yeah. Definitely bring that number 1.
I had him what I think last year I took it's very, very stereotypical, but I took a longbow hunter.
Longbow. I was gonna say, I mean, if nothing else,
that
that's
or
one you gotta have signed by him.
Take.
But there's just so many good Green Arrow covers from his run.
Yeah, I'm bringing 2 books for John Jang this year.
Nice.
I'm bringing 2 Jangs, I think 3 Frizzens, 1 to donate to C3 for this coming year. A Jim Starlin Batman book, and Jerry Conway Justice League book. Yeah, I've already got my portfolio sorted.
I'm just planning on hopefully picking up my my commission from John while I'm there.
John Boy Mike. Oh, John Jane. What'd you get done by Jane?
A commission.
Wow.
Dang. Nice.
I bet that wasn't cheap.
Just being honest with you, I didn't pay for it.
Dang, nice.
I gave him a blank cover, told him what I wanted on it, and told him I talked to him a couple times. Like, yeah, I'll see you at Heroes Con.
Nice.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
That's not a commission. That's a favor.
Right.
Last time I left him with some work. He mailed it to me when he was done, and I'm like, "How much I owe you?" He's like, "You're good, man." I'm like, well, goddamn.
Dang.
Wow.
Man, what a guy.
Jeez.
I've done a lot of like it's ridiculously nice, but I've done a lot of promoting for that guy over the years.
Yeah, you have.
He's A1, and I also still spend money with him when I see him because I stopped. Like I've got like all of his stuff that he's done back before he was like even in comics. Like he'd been like there's like a convention called Zephyr, and it was when he was just a concept artist still for the movie industry. Like he worked on Pacific Rim and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with that teched out shredder suit that could like throw the blades and magnetic them back. Like he designed that, the Hulkbuster Iron Man, but he was at a convention like that, and I have all his old stuff from then even. And so there's a shop that I can't support for the life of me, and he does a lot of covers through him. So I just don't buy him, and I wait till Heroes Con, and when I see John, I just buy him off John while I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm guessing you're gonna get some of the Hush covers when they come out.
The only one that they've done, talking about the Jang one, the only one that he's done is the one that 616 Comics did. That's the only one so far. But yeah, he got some really good stuff coming up. Really good stuff coming up.
Yep.
Let me see what the wife needs.
I like his Transformers and G.I. Joe stuff. John Jang or Gang.
Yeah.
Jang.
Anytime he does, a Snake Eyes or a Storm Shadow.
Oh, he's great.
Anytime he does, like there's a particular Starscream cover I want from a Transformers. I can't find a good one for a good price.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping it's going to be an easy day Friday for the lines.
Yeah.
Oh, to get in?
No, well, that too, but
big name people.
Yeah. Well, as I said, I'm not worried about Claremont because that one's taken care of. But Frizen's
How old
probably
is
going to be hard.
Claremont now?
Oh God,
Yeah, he's up there.
That would be something.
I got a couple signed by him.
I'd really like. I've got God Loves Man Kill signed by him twice. Once in '84 and again in '94. Now I'd like to go back and get it signed again.
First print?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
I'll be
More
back.
people need to read that. That is such a great story.
Incredible story. One of my all-time favorites.
Yeah.
How good a condition this Death of Captain Marvel is. Ooh, that's crappy.
I just don't know whether I want to crack the 94 to do it. I don't think I will. I'll crack the Frank Miller Wolvie.
Right.
It got signed at MegaCon. It's at CGC. I shouldn't have done it. I didn't think, and I just sent it in.
What grade? Oh, so you don't even know what grade it's going to come.
I don't even know what grade. Put it this way: if they treat this, what was supposed to happen is there's a little tiny there's a little tiny mark on it. It's like you would think it was like a marker, maybe. Yeah. But I was trying to get Frank Miller to sign over top of it. Hey. But when I gave it to Lenny, he didn't know to do that. So his runner didn't get it done. So what I'm going to do is I'm hoping that Claremont get him to do it at Claremont and double signed.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool. I think that would be. I was going to be like, I'm like, we'll see how it is. It's like if it wasn't that, it was 9.8. Sorry, Kevin.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just answering the question originally. It would have been a 9.8 had it not have that. So if they don't pay attention, it'll be 9.8.
I was just checking out Jim Starlin since I hadn't even thought about him being there. Used to have the Death of Captain Marvel graphic novel, and that's something I'd like to get back.
Yeah. They're expensive.
Yeah, for a crispy one, I'm looking at a first print raw near mint, $65.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot for $20, but they're beat to hell.
Oh, are you talking the actual magazine or the graphic novel?
The graphic novel.
Oh, okay.
The first print, 94 or 84. I mean,
yeah,
94. Yeah, they've reprinted it a bunch.
It's the only person that's died and never come back.
Here's your big money. A slab 9.4 goes for about $200.
Yeah.
Which book?
Jim Starlin, Death of Captain Marvel, first print.
Isn't that magazine size almost?
It's a graphic novel, yeah. It's magazine size.
Yeah.
From the Marvel graphic novel series. Same thing, God Loves Man Kills, the New Mutants graphic novel.
I don't see.
All those were part of that series. I used to have most
prints of that very often. I always see like third or fifth. Did it go to fifth?
Oh, dude, yeah. They reprint. There's like 9 or 10 printings of it. You can get a third, fourth, fifth printing for $5 in pretty good shape.
Anyone who's listening that's going to be at Heroes Con, yeah, when you're out diving, and if you happen to find Killing Joke #1, 13th printing, but newsstand,
ooh,
please get a hold of me.
Met one of those bolos.
Brian Bowling,
Yeah, but that's no.
Be on lookout, like the cops say.
The 13th print newsstand.
What color is that one?
I think it's one of the pink ones. Hold on, let me check.
That's something they did really cool with that. That's a fun one to try to chase down all the prints.
Yeah. 13th print is yellow with the gray
barcode
the cufflinks. But it's got to be newsstand.
I didn't even think about that. They changed the cufflink colors too.
Yeah, 12th print is same exact thing with yellow cufflink.
And it's just that one cufflink down at the bottom there?
Yep.
Yeah, I never even noticed that on the other ones. I got to go look at that. That's cool.
Huh.
But please, if you find it, let me know. I've got one person that's a buddy of mine that's hunting. That's the only one he's missing to complete his set. And tick #1's 4th, 5th, and 7th print is what I need for my stuff.
Where was that? Kitchen sink?
No. NEC, New England Comics.
Oh yeah.
Glenn, do you think Lee Weeks will be expensive?
I think he'll probably be $20.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Maybe $10 or $20. I'm guessing.
I was debating about making a video of what I plan to get signed at Heroes Con.
I don't like. It was weird for MegaCon. It was one of the first times I've ever seen certain people charge more for certain books.
Mm-hmm.
Like De La Rosa was $10 for everything,
but Venom.
$30 for Venom 1. I'm like, okay. Thank God I've got Earthworm Jim 1, 2, and 3. Like,
oh yeah. Claremont does the same thing. Who was it? Like, there's so many people on it, but I can't remember which one of them was doing it for Secret Wars 8.
Liefeld does it for 98, I think, too.
He should. He's got so much good stuff out there. Like, let's weed through the
Dr. Pepper
resellers.
The Dr. Pepper Peep.
Yeah.
Oh, you bought one of those?
Who, me?
Yeah, you didn't see me earlier. Oh, you weren't there when I ate one earlier before the trivia.
You need to tell Aaron. Are they good?
No.
Well, here's a question. Does he have the multiple different ones and he charges more for different, like Clayton Crane does?
Yeah, so like this is standard signature.
Yeah.
And this is what's called the chiseled. That's like his little thing, you know?
Yeah.
But the chiseled costs more than just a standard signature.
Right.
But
it's kind of like a remark more than a signature.
Yeah, almost. I'm a big Liefeld fan.
Crane and Mayhew are doing the same thing.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's a Turok #1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got 2 of those.
Check this out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had to get the I'm not a big variant person in the grand scheme of things, but I'm like, Liefeld did one, then this is actually what made me go to pick up either of them. Like, need that.
Cool. Can't wait to get the C3 art book. I'm excited for that.
It's coming along.
What are you showing?
Well, only 2 Marvel graphic novels I still got.
There we go.
New Mutants and
there it is. What print is that one?
I believe it's first print.
I think it says it on the cover, if otherwise, doesn't it?
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, that's cool.
It's actually still in really good shape too.
Yeah, I took good care of this because.
Oh, look at that.
1983. And then again in 1992.
Very cool.
Now, I opened it up and he said, I've already signed it. And I said, well, sign it again.
Who signed it? Whose signature is that, Kev?
Claremont. Claremont ×2. And I could, and those were free. You know, that's back when they didn't charge for autographs. They just got paid by the con and did autographs.
They still get paid by the con.
Yeah, now they get the charge too. But they make a lot more off charging than they get paid by the con.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's one of the greatest
Paul,
things ever written comics.
I told Paul I'm going to struggle with Guess That Key because I don't have another device to use Key Collector, so I'll just be going
You don't have enough what?
Another device.
Oh, you're gonna need it, homie.
Oh, I am. I know. I may have to use my mom's laptop.
And then again,
just bum a laptop and log in on there.
This one only wants 83.
Key Collector, right? You guys use that for the show?
Key Collector, just so that we have consistency with what the questions we're asking, the language, because all this stuff's so very subjective at times.
Is the computer one very user friendly?
Enough. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna fool. I may not fool you guys, but I think you're gonna like what I'm gonna have.
My goal is never to fool people. It's just to have fun. I try to bring stuff that's pretty relevant, so it might be on their mind. And it's stuff that people have seen before. I figured out a long time ago it's not fun if you're trying to stump people because people just give up trying.
Yeah.
Trev's was interesting last week.
I don't remember what it was because we didn't do a show last week.
Or 2 weeks ago. What was it? Oh God. I can't remember either.
I don't remember what he brought though. Jeff, are you going to Heroes Con?
I live in California, brother.
I'm not.
That's a long drive.
Are you coming to Heroes Con?
No, I'm not.
If you start walking now, you'll be there before we get there.
What did Trev show? Oh,
I can tell you in just a second.
Oh, War of the Realms. Jane Foster becomes Valkyrie.
Yeah.
Mike's shocked me.
Yeah, the Tarzan.
Yeah. I
I brought a Tales to Astonish on that one.
That was cool. That was a book I've never seen.
I've almost got that run completed now too.
That Green Lantern that Paul had.
Yeah, Green Lantern number 4 or whatever from the Golden Age. Like Jesus. Yeah, I'm trying to finish the Hulk run out from Hulk 1 all the way to this month's issue. And when I was filling in the Tales to Astonish stuff, Hulk enters Tales to Astonish at 59, and the series ends at 101 and becomes Incredible Hulk at 102. And I love the early monster stuff so much. So I'm like, screw it. I'll just tack on just completing Tales to Astonish as part of the thing. Because, never in any hurry. I only buy them in person. And the only stipulation is that they're complete and readable. And there's only a handful of, like you have 13, which is Groot. You got the first Hank Pym, first Ant-Man, first Wasp. And outside of that, you don't have any like 4-figure books in there. You're just going for complete and readable. And I've gotten I've gotten well over half, but finding the early Atlas era monster issues, they just weren't kept around as much as the superhero ones. You could find 59 through 101 anywhere all the time. And same thing with a lot of the Ant-Man, Giant Man issues. But
my dad's friend gave me the one where it's Giant Man.
Giant Man.
I
or the
remember
eraser
showed you
taking
that.
them out.
Yeah, I think I showed you that. But what's it called? Is Paul gonna go to Heroes Con soon, or just?
He doesn't do Heroes Con, man. He does MegaCon every year, but he doesn't do Heroes Con, which I beg him every year to go. He just ain't.
Is he just a homebody?
No, not per se. It just doesn't really just pan out for his schedule and everything. So he just, he's not going to like swim against the stream to try to get it done. He has a MegaCon every year, and every year I go on vacation and we hang out while I'm on vacation and stuff. And so me and Paul see each other every year in real life, despite going to Heroes Con or not. Right. But I vacation on St. Simon's Island every year, which on the off the Georgia coast.
Where I always went with my parents.
Bill's Treehouse is going right.
That's my ultimate like retirement goal. Like I don't even want to have to necessarily be old enough to retire. Like I just want to live there in general. Yeah, but so every year, and Paul's down in Florida in Orlando, so we just drive and meet in the middle, and then the whole family goes and we hang out, have lunch, and then mom, wife, and the kids. My mom, my wife, and Monkey will peel off and go shopping, and me, Finn, and Paul will peel off and go comic shop crawling. Coliseum of Comics has like 11 shops in Florida, so we're able to hit like 3 or 4, and then like Kyle and the kid and Monkey, and we all just kind of like pop in and out based off where we're at. Just hit stores together, just do our thing on our own, and then at the end of the day, and then my oldest Emma, she just. I don't know, bounces whichever car she wants to go in. But it's fun, man.
Yeah.
I'd go to it. I'd be going to these cons. I mean, maybe not that one because it's on the East Coast, but money's been a little funny for me for a little while, but I just retired and I'm starting to draw my pension. My first check will come April 1st. So now
dude, if the ultimate, because Heroes Con gets talked about a lot because it's like the last bastion of a real comic book convention. You don't have any of the anime stuff, none of the movies or television show stuff. It's just an ocean of comics, and the superstars with the biggest crowds are actual writers or artists of the comic books. And
cool.
So it's like the last, like, and it's big too, though. But it's not like overwhelming big. It's still just one giant L-shaped convention center room.
Hey man, what's up?
But I've just been biased to that one like my entire adult life. And I don't go to a bunch of cons. I go to this one once a year, which is like 3 hours up the street.
Yeah, Legend. It's pretty sucky right now.
What's up, TM?
But if this exact con was on the West Coast, I'd never go to it either. It's just too far, It's just too far
feasible for me. Does Rob actually drive?
They let him drive the plane because of his mustache.
I knew it. Son of a bitch.
I already has his own helicopter.
I'm trying to get my mustache to pilot status.
Rob will be the first to tell you that I take the Uber Black.
Yeah, for real.
He'll tell you I had the limo pick me up at the airport and insert the fun story. But yeah. Not like the stretch limo, but just like a standard town car,
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Like your Don Corleone.
I was shopping a G6, exactly.
Oh, I've actually got a friend from high school that has some chickens, and he's been making a killing off them chickens for the past.
Eggs are back down over here. I went grocery shopping yesterday. I'm like, oh look, eggs aren't expensive anymore.
I bought some today. I think they're under $5 for a dozen now.
I've got a box just sitting right there on my kitchen table of just eggs, like, because I run a kennel, so like this lady, she has like more chickens than she can get rid of eggs. So I got like a case of just unwashed eggs that'll last weeks and weeks. That we've cooked like 4 out of the 50 of them, and I'm just like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with these things. I'm in the South, so like if you talk to people, eggs aren't scarce. Yeah, yeah. If you just like, hey, you know where eggs are at? And they'll be like, no. But then that third person be like, yeah, my neighbor, yeah, her aunt, she's got like 50 chickens.
Yep. Like, I've got 3 or 4 people right around me that, within a mile of me that have them. Yeah, you can have them in the city limits here, but not many people do.
The whole egg thing was like ridiculous. Like, and I thought it like I didn't realize at first that it wasn't just like the prices, but they like slaughtered like some X million number of chickens right at the election time. Like, dude, this is the standard typical F the government propaganda where y'all are just like hurting us to try to hurt the other side. Like, it's crazy. Like, they're all criminals, every single one of them. I hate every bit of them up there.
Market manipulation for political reasons.
40 years, they've all been criminals. George Carlin.
I thought it started long before then.
That was just when I became aware enough to know that.
Dude, I was about to say, like, I can think of, that's about 60 years ago. The whole world should have came aware with a ride down a Texas street.
Yep.
Great legend, oligarchs.
Did you ever finish reading all the files? I know you.
No, but I've read, dude. I've read a lot of
80,000.
No, there's 80,000 pages. 1,123 new files were uploaded into it, and don't think that I don't just keep them right here at my fingertip at all time, just to be able to go right back in and look at some more of them. Keep them handy. But I've been going through them. I've seen a lot of stuff.
What's your?
I'll be honest with you. I've read enough to know that like there's information there that I don't want to talk about on this platform at all. Like there's certain platforms that are like.
Give me your 30,000 feet theory.
No, like I DM it to you, but I wouldn't openly talk about it, especially on someone else's stream.
Yeah.
Really? You think it's that?
Well, yeah, absolutely. And if I DM'd it to you, you'd be like, oh yeah, based on like what you see on just like casual like stuff on the internet, like, yeah, you probably don't want to talk about that openly because of how I don't even want to say how sensitive people are, but how intentionally antagonistic and retaliatory people can be. And if I DM'd it to you, you'd be like, oh yeah, that's actually pretty smart. I wouldn't bring that shit up.
Yeah,
either.
we probably have a similar outlook because I've gone down that rabbit hole like real bad.
But it's it's in the files. Like it's stated in the files. Like that this was like what a lot of people assume this was like CIA in coordination with another group of people to help execute and cover it up. And it's shit like that was openly known that Kennedy talked about and openly about like this isn't how things should be. We need to put this under this. And to this day, that has never been put under this. And Kennedy was the only person to say it needed to be.
Yeah. Kennedy was he okay, how do I put it? So okay, we'll
I feel like you're walking around the same eggshells that I am.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to find the right way to say it.
Gotta get a controversy stream.
So you have somebody in the Oval Office who is not afraid to quote unquote shake things up, so to speak. And I'll say this for sure because everybody knows it that the CIA ran afoul of Kennedy or whatnot, Bay of Pigs, whatever.
Yeah.
So
they tried to trick him into a war.
There was a lot of things going on, and
Operation Northwoods that they tried to get him to sign off on.
What Kennedy had planned, his agenda while he was in office, meant that there was a lot of different groups and in government and outside of government, private industry, that were going to lose a lot of money if his policy were to take effect.
Yeah, he had a whole lot of enemies. So just hypothetically, if you have like just like a little, like CIA is a large entity, but the whole entity doesn't have to be rotten for the entity to have pulled off something rotten. So if you have a group of willing people and they need they're working with other bodies, just think of the equivalent of the CIA just from somewhere else. And then they had a group of people like, yeah, we don't like him either. We'll take care of this. And they work in tandem to pull it off. And there was that's what it looks like happened.
Did you guys, sorry to get off that subject. Did you guys hear Heath Ledger's father unveiled the diary that kept Heath when he was preparing for the Joker role? He unveiled it.
I saw the post about it today, but I didn't care to look into it or anything.
I did. It's interesting.
Yeah.
You know what's sad is everyone remembers him for Dark Knight. And of course, I do too. I also remember him as in A Knight's Tale.
A Knight's Tale. That was a cool movie.
He was the Patriot.
10 Things I Hate About You.
Yeah.
Hello, Tim.
I forgot he was here.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Tate. But like, I don't know, man. That kind of stuff, I have a hard time even fathoming how people can, one, not be aware, and two, not care. And then there's a third part, the dismissal. I'm like, that's wild. Like, even when information about it is being presented, you're just like, no, I don't want it. I don't want it. But yeah.
I'm more of a, I'll wait for the documentary.
Yeah, that's super fair. Like,
there'll be several.
Yeah, dude. That's what really got, because like I'm a huge conspiracy fan. You know, all of it. Like, whether it's stuff that I think is outlandish or not, it's still absolutely entertaining at the most basic level, just to get the gears flowing. You know, like
how do people believe?
Well, not even how do people believe it, but I like listening to it, and like, because in my mind, like, I'm looking to punch holes in their stories, and what's super fun is when you're watching something that you feel is outrageous. Like, how can people believe this? Like, rewind the clock and go back to people trying to call hoax on the moon landing. You're like, why would you ever think that? But then you watch them present their evidence, and like, well, where I'm sitting today, I don't have the capacity to counter or debunk what they're saying. So now I'm curious to go find out, well, why does that rock have a prop letter on it? Why aren't the shadows casting the same way? How do they radio and remote all this stuff back in real time in 1960s? How did they get past the Van Allen radiation belt with the limited stuff that they had on? So I'm like, I can sit here and act like they're stupid for believing that it's fake, but I can't convince them it's not fake. So let me go figure out the answer to those. And it's just
something like that.
Fun searching for answers. You know?
Yeah, something like that is like trying to prove that Batman doesn't exist.
Not necessarily. You're not trying to prove a negative with this, because they're presenting definitive counter arguments. You know, they're like showing you this rock that looks like it has a prop letter you would see on the set. They're showing you the shadow lines casting. So you, at that point, you have to get into like a little bit of mathematics and figuring out the time of day and where the sun was and the height of stuff and all that. So there's ways you can go into it, but it's fun to do that for me. Like, I have fun with all that, but like the whole like prove a unicorn doesn't exist. You can't do that. It's
proving a negative. You can't prove it.
It's also you get another Bertrand Russell's little philosophical exercise where he says there's a just a little teapot floating between the sun and Mercury, just floating there. Prove it's not.
Right.
You can't.
But you can prove it's there.
If you find
it.
Yeah.
What you have to do.
But what you can do is you can say with a degree of certainty that I don't believe it's there. You know, like, that's the best you can do.
Yep. You can say, I've got a ton of evidence saying it doesn't exist, but you can't prove it.
Not to keep beating on the JFK thing. Due to my own personal training and experience in my own life and career in law enforcement, I've gone to homicide investigation schools, you know, and it's super, super regimented, and it even was back in the 60s. So the way they conducted the investigation after it went down was man,
everything was wrong with it.
Man. And they tried to show the actual bullet that did all this damage.
The one that they placed on the stretcher when he rolled into, was it Bethesda Hospital or whatever?
Because as soon as I took
that bullet made 7 impact points and was still intact.
It gives me goosebumps. It gives me goosebumps still. And then, you know, short distance away, there's a shooting, an officer involved shooting, and then
that was one thing that's in the files is they declassified the audio investigation that was done at the time using the Zapruder footage along with the testimony of the people there, including government officials that were there, that they conclusively came to the understanding that more than one gun was fired. That's official. That's their conclusion, but that was never part of the Warren Commission's conclusion.
No,
that's what the investigation came to.
The Warren Commission was a big, thick book of look over there.
Yeah,
look over there.
Look up there through those treetops.
Yeah,
you see that window. Yeah. That's it. That's all.
The grassy knoll. You know,
that's actually in my full belief that grassy knoll shot is what took him out. Which you had multiple witnesses that saw the cloud of smoke at the exact time of the sound, and because they're right there by it, that's their quickest point of bang, and they all look because they're there. They're not way up in the distance.
Yeah,
and they see the guy run, and they actively chased him. People actively chased him.
Unless you
he couldn't have shot from the window because of the angle, right? It was like
no, he definitely could shoot from the window, but it just
could shoot, but he's not gonna hit.
He didn't pull off those 3 shots in that time frame.
And his sniper nest is not no. I know he was a former Marine, and every Marine's a rifleman. I get that, but he's not gonna be that successful.
He was a documented shitty rifleman.
He was the worst rifleman in the whole Marine Corps.
Yeah, documented. This guy, we gotta find something else for him to do.
And if you ask anybody that has any familiarity with combat tactics or whatever, or assassination or whatever, sniper stuff, a triangulation is your best chance to make sure. And he was a moving target. That is incredible. People don't understand how hard it is.
Well, the reason that was also a reason why they chose the spot they chose instead of him coming down the road, because it was
slow down.
Was a slow down for that sharp turn. He was barely moving, so for a train shot. And you remember what you might have the Captain Phillips movie with Tom Hanks with the Somali pirates that took over the boat and they got on the lifeboat. The true story of that, like, it was portrayed well in the film, but the true story of that is like they took Captain Phillips. There's I think there's like 3 or 4 of the Somali pirates. They're all in it looks like a little mini submarine. What lifeboats look like. They're all in there with just little bitty windows. And they're bobbing on the ocean, being towed by a large, I think it might even been an aircraft carrier at that point that was towing them, because like they have these guys hostages, and they want out of this situation, and they want this and that, and they're towing them, and they get like elite snipers are on this ship, and they just walk down to the end of the carrier, lay down, put their guns up, and they're on a giant boat, not a stationary spot. And there's this bobbing thing behind them being towed.
Unreal.
So they're aiming, they're looking through little windows, waiting till they can get all 3 of them. And they're on comms with the driver who's in charge of the ship and the person
waiting for all green lights
on the tow line, waiting for all green lights. And when he says green, they hit the tow line so it drops slack. And as soon as it dropped slack, they all pulled the trigger, dropped all 3 of those guys simultaneously, 1 shot apiece, 1 body apiece. I'm like, that's the craziest thing that's ever happened ever. Like, it's just the
incredible.
That movie was insane.
Yeah, the real life thing you can watch. Like, what is it, like History Channel that does those like whatever it's called, 360 something 360, and they'll show you like the computer mapping of all of it and the angles and what goes into it. It did one on those bank robbers in LA back in the 90s who took all the Percocets and put the body armor on and stuff, and
the North Hollywood shooting.
One of them accidentally shot himself trying to unjam his gun. Even like, this is crazy.
Don't mean to interrupt, guys, but I've got to go to bed. Enjoy the rest of the night.
So easy to go down these rabbit holes. I'm sorry.
Yeah, enjoy.
Take it easy.
Have fun. Bye.
No, there's crazy conspiracies. I agree.
Tape, legend. What do y'all want to hop on? I got room now.
Super fun.
Yeah, sorry about getting. I can go on and on and on.
No, it's fun. I love it.
It's interesting, man.
We hadn't even brought up the new LiDAR scans of underneath the pyramids yet.
Oh yeah,
I saw that.
The spaceships.
No, the pillars.
Yeah, those pillars.
Did you guys hear about those people who were supposed to be in space? who were supposed to be in space for, wasn't it like 2 weeks or whatever, and they were there for months on months.
Yeah, that was in the news for all 9 months they were stranded there.
Yeah.
And
That's
finally, they're
insane.
like, NASA's like, we can't get to them anytime soon, and SpaceX is like, that's our thing. We'll go get them. Let us know.
We got you.
We'll go get them.
And they did.
Yeah.
After a misfiring, but yeah, they finally got there.
Well, after a call off the firing, because let's
Had to scrub. Yeah, to scrub
we're gonna
the
scrub
launch.
this one because the pressures are off, and then they went up flawlessly.
Yeah.
Not only did they go up and come back down, the rocket that sent them up came back down.
That's
I would say it
You know what
landed,
I
but it never
watched when
touched
I
the
was
ground
a-
again. Just
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop
know
right
what
here.
I
Like,
read?
it's so cool. It's insane.
You know what I
Right.
watched as a kid, and I wish I could rewatch it. Is I think it was like uncovering the Titanic, and it was talking about like
Oh, yeah.
how far down the little submarines went, and how they couldn't get everything back from the Titanic because it is so damn deep in the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like
the
1.2
pressure down
miles
there
or
is
something.
incredible. What a
I think
guy
they
his
said
son
the
died 'cause they
pressure
went too
would
deep.
destroy.
Not the right shit.
I think they said the pressure would destroy or throw off the coordinates of the thing and just make the thing just
Yeah.
screw up.
They say that when that pressure crushed that sub those guys were in, that they died so fast they didn't know what happened.
Yeah, I don't think
it's-
they'll ever be able to uncover the whole ship. It's impossible.
Oh, they
It's probably
did.
so rusted
They've
out.
already recovered it.
They've already explored everything they could do.
Yeah, they all the scraps that were left from it, because it
James
had
Cameron
an implosion point, but the rest, as soon as it imploded, the rest of it just like the
Yeah.
Titanic keeps its form down there.
Yeah.
That's just so scary about like space flight or deep under the ocean is it just takes one weak spot, weak spot, and it's all over.
It's
In
over.
space, you're going one way. Under the ocean, you're going the other way.
Right. You're being or
I'd
Yeah,
rather
that
the implosion effect happen, because
I
like
forgot
you
that
pointed
what
out
was
instantly.
I forgot the name of that the oceanographer or something. I can't name it. No, the name of that submarine that I can't remember the name of it. But
The Titan.
something like that. But it imploded so quickly that nobody was aware before it was over.
Yeah, they got the little black box thingy or whatever. They got like the idea that they knew that there was a catastrophic failure that happened, that they were kind of like stuck and like they got to do something, and then it popped. And what's funny is James Cameron knew the second that it happened, because he's like a big underwater explorer himself. He has like all this connections with the Navy and stuff, and they had the audio, like they had the actual ping of it popping. So they knew it was all bullshit. They called bullshit on it. The news, like, we have this many hours until they run out of y'all are disgusting. Y'all are disgusting for playing this for views.
Right. It was instant.
Trying to pretend like they're just broken down on the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah.
Like it's a movie or something, and there's little holes and water squirting
Right.
in.
Yeah.
No.
We can be rescued. Little leaks and pings.
Did you guys ever watch the Tom Hanks, Kevin Bacon? Was that 2001 Space Odyssey? Or
Oh, it definitely wasn't Tom Hanks.
No, not Tom Hanks. You talking about Apollo 13?
Apollo 13,
or Apollo 11,
yes.
whatever it was.
Apollo.
13, yeah.
That was such a big
so
deal when that
good.
movie came out.
The movie's good.
I was working at the theater when that movie came out.
Isn't it the one
So-
where it has
so
that
it's-
red eye and it's like, I cannot do that, blah, blah,
That's
blah.
Hal. That's 2001.
Hal 2001.
Yeah.
Stanley
I'm
Kubrick.
sorry, Dave.
That movie is why people attribute the moon landing to Stanley Kubrick. Like you can't fake the moon landing. Well, have you seen 2001: A Space Odyssey? You damn sure could.
Yeah.
Well, also they said Stanley Kubrick was hired to do it. And then
Apollo 13.
That's what I'm saying.
Movie.
he
I liked
demanded
Apollo
it be so
13.
real that he paid for him to go to the moon.
Apollo 13. 's
You ever
good,
read the
Nick,
book,
so-
The Department of Truth, in issue number 2? they're like, yeah, Stanley Kubrick's, they're like filming the moon landing and stuff.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Right.
I love that book so much.
I never read Department of Truth, but I've heard it's really
I got the first trade paperback. I need to start picking up the rest.
It's really good. That Martin Simmons artwork is a little jarring for a lot of people on the first time, but
what
it
theories
really
did they do, Mark? I know they did Kennedy.
It really plays really well into the story once you get the feel of it.
Yeah.
Because like the whole concept is like you don't know what can be real and can't be real, and with how like
the way his art is.
Yeah, it's so interpreted. Yeah.
I like that.
So I'm trying to think of what theories they did. I know they did Kennedy.
The Department of Truth has done everything at this point.
I know, God, they're up to issue 30 or something like
27 or 28, and they've done like a 3-issue JFK Marilyn Monroe kind of thing, which, you know, the whole thing is like Lee Harvey Oswald's revealed to be alive at the end of issue 1. He's the director of the Department of Truth. There's so much more to it. There would be spoilers if you haven't read it, but so they saved JFK for like down the road. So by the time they get to revisiting it, like Lee Harvey Oswald being just the boss in charge is just, you could have named him anything at this point. Like it's not even registering that it's Lee Harvey Oswald anymore.
Right.
It's just the boss.
Yeah.
They've covered Bigfoot. They've covered the Mothman. They covered Ingrid Cole. They covered I don't want to say it because it's another one of those things, but that, you know, those places where kids go to learn and bad things happen from time to time.
Yeah.
They covered that.
Wow. I bet that's
they covered Flat Earth. They covered the ice wall, the moon landing, Mothman. I think I might have said Mothman.
Yeah.
They covered the 1980s, you know, the daycare, the satanic stuff happening at the daycare stuff. They covered that. They covered what airport is it? God, I'm not Denver Airport. They covered that.
Yeah.
Like pretty much go watch the Y-Files. It's like James Tynan watches the Y-Files. You're like, all right, that's my next issue right there.
All right.
Yeah, I've never read any of Department of Truth. Now I'm curious.
Yeah, it's fun. You should watch the Y-Files. Like it's the greatest channel that YouTube has ever. YouTube was made just so that the Y-Files could eventually become a thing, and it covers everything, whether it be like fringe theories, conspiracy theories, science, alternate history, and it's packaged in like the best way ever. So you have like AJ, who's like a modern day Art Bell, and he has like his little talking goldfish as his little co-host named Hecklefish, and they use the goldfish to say all the things that YouTube won't let you say. It's formatted perfectly.
I've seen other channels use that trick, and that it works. You can get an animal, they can say shit that are coming out of a human being.
Yeah, they'll say it. AJ be like, hey, you can't do that. And they're like, audit the feds.
Right. Yeah, exactly. In fact, one of the first channels on YouTube I remember making it a habit to check daily was Angry Squirrel. And it was just a squirrel that rants about whatever hot topic is.
Oh, and it was, I think this is like way back when, wasn't it?
Way back, yeah.
Oh yeah, I do remember him, yeah.
He just God, I can't even remember some of them, but I just remember they were hilarious.
He was mostly fighting with a guy on like the IT tech and stuff.
Yeah, it was all mostly tech stuff, but he would go on rants about everyday shit. Sometimes something would piss the guy off that was making it.
And that was like 12, 15 years ago, man.
Yeah, back the early days.
Yeah,
the fish has teeth.
I think the guys,
the crab cat,
the guys that have, you know, the big money, you know, the dark players, whatever you want to call them, the people that really run shit behind the scenes,
the Illuminati,
the shadow government.
Yeah, they know full well that the American public, their memory's about a week long, and it's getting shorter by the day.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, they're like,
because,
oh wait, as soon
Shit,
as we
they
got
made it
to the
this
meat
way.
and potatoes of the JFK files, they're like, send the LiDAR scans now.
Yeah. Like even the attempted assassination of Trump when he was on the campaign trail. I haven't heard anything about any progress on that investigation.
I don't know if you ever watch it's a podcast called Flagrant. It's on YouTube. You can watch it. But Andrew Schultz, the comedian,
I've
him and his buddies, watch the episode where Trump was on during the campaign stuff because they specifically ask him, and he answers very, very specifically without giving details. But anybody with 2 ears and common sense completely understands the answer of where that stands. He gives you the answer.
Yeah. And it's just I think it's pretty obvious to, people who are curious, independent thinker type folks who don't just ingest and go, "Oh, okay, that's the way it is."
Oh yeah, the answer's there. Like
yeah. And they're talking about they were talking about how certain government websites have had certain records scrubbed if they have any type of DEI related, phone or whatever. So I got buddies yelling at me, "Oh, see, they're trying to rewrite history and change history. They're scrubbing history." It's like that information isn't just on that website. It's never going anywhere. It's in a bunch of different places. And I said, and if you want to talk about scrubbing, let's rewind the fucking tape a few more years. And how did a former Secretary of State that ran for president get away with holding an outside server that's illegal in so many different ways you can't, and gets to actually truly destroy and scrub it and get away with it? So right there, I just kind of throw up my hands and go, well, that's just the world we live in. We don't control it. Other people do.
I firmly believe that it's just been to that point, like where people say it's a 2-party system. I don't believe that. I believe it's a 1-party system. Like it's just, I don't know, most of it's optics. Since Lyndon B. Johnson took office, it's all been almost across the board completely orchestrated. Like they knew who they were putting in. I don't think Reagan was intended to make it in, but like you could go back and look at like the election results for Reagan.
Boy, he won big.
Like, it was such an outcry of support that there's really not much you can do. You have to work in the margins, and I think that's kind of what happened again with the current president, where it was like against the margins. You really couldn't do much with that. I think that's why it seems so crazy when you have somebody who's not just like going through the motions of what, like, you rewind the clock, you look at how things are operated today, they would call foul and call it all corrupt. But because it's so gradual over time that people become used to it, it just feels like status quo when there's nothing status quo about anything that any of us have experienced for our entire life. This is purely antithetical to what this country represents down to its founding documents. But it's just what we grew up around, and it seems normal. So why should I think otherwise? Well, it's nuts.
I think I agree, and I think the average person thinks to themselves,
Lady Fantastic,
this is outrageous, but what can I do about it?
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, then Tate's got a point. I get that, but I believe accountability and truth are more important than I want to know. Yeah, I think that we should be given the truth despite wanting to hear it or not, even if we don't.
Yeah.
I don't want that to be true, and I'm going to find out if it is, though. That's the last person to say something and speak against the secrecy of the government had his head blown off in his car.
Yeah. I don't want to sound grim or nihilistic or whatever, but I really don't know.
Oh, just wait, Lady Fantastic. It's coming for the first time in decades.
I really don't know if Trump's going to make it all the way through his 4 years. I hope he does, but
they're moving really, really, really fast, and it kind of goes straight to Lady Fantastic's thing, like whether it's your team or not. Like there's stuff that you're gonna like, and there's stuff that you're gonna dislike. Just try to be objective enough to call out the stuff you like just as much as you call out the stuff you dislike, because there ain't a single administration, no matter how much you like them or wanted them to win, that are batting 1,000 for anybody. That's not even realistic. But watch what happens next, because everyone, we watch what they've been doing, running through auditing the government, which should be done every year that the government exists. Like, everyone should be on board for that,
especially the Pentagon.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to them getting there, because the best part about finding unnecessary usage of money is you can reallocate funds to do productive shit without taxing us more.
Yeah.
That's like we are all going to gain from that. But when they were finding what they were considering fraud, well, where's the accountability for people committing fraud?
Nobody's in handcuffs.
Watch what happens next week.
Yep.
You don't just have a team of tech analysts go, this is fraud, arrest them, because that's fucking illegal. You have a team of tech analysts say, this looks like fraud, and you turn it over to somebody who has the authority to make that assessment, and then
arrest.
It's their job to make that assessment and hand it to somebody with the authority to bring up charges. Watch what happens next week.
Indeed.
Boy, I found something.
Is it about JFK or the pyramids?
Actually, it's a squirrel.
Is this the what do you call it? Angry squirrel?
Advice?
Foamy.
And then when you give them advice, they don't take the advice. They just come back to you a week later and they're like, I can't believe how everything turned out so wrong. You want to know why everything turned out wrong? Because you didn't take my advice and you're fucking stupid. That's what me. I know all. The other type of person are those fucking insignificant peons who just have to validate themselves by being in a relationship. You know what? It's pathetic, it's weak-minded, and you show no inner strength whatsoever. Get over the girlfriend, get over the boyfriend, or whatever the fuck you're yearning for, and live fucking life. People who stalk their ex-girlfriends particularly piss me off. What the fuck is wrong with these people? Don't you have better things to do with your life than be emotionally attached to somebody who hates your guts? With your life, find a hobby. Geez, you know how many video games are out there that you could be playing? At the very least, shoot yourself. Get yourself out of society. Nobody wants to deal with the stuff.
Damn.
Other types of people that I hate, diner. The type of person that, you're usually friends with until they end up going to the diner and dating some waitress there, and then having some kind of weird rocky relationship, and every time you go into the diner hereafter, there's that weird vibe in the air. People like this really need food poisoning. I am so sick of these fucking bastards ruining my favorite spots. Another type of person
that doesn't look like a squirrel.
What do you see on the horizon in the next couple of weeks here? You're alluding to it earlier.
Oh, sorry, I was typing to Lady Fantastic. She said the guy who took the shot at Trump didn't seem conspiracy related to her. It just seemed like a loose cannon, but I could be wrong. Just to catch you up, he previously worked for BlackRock, had zero online footprint. All the social media was scrubbed. His entire house was scrubbed, including the silverware being removed before the authorities could ever make it there. He had multiple cellular devices, all that were deemed locked, and the government can't get in to find any evidence. 1,000% an asset. No question. No question asset. The only thing that's actually conspiracy related about it is, why haven't they publicly speculated on who the handler or controller was for this person? And that's where you can go listen to that podcast and get an idea and pick the brain of the person who can't say it out loud, but he's simply just not saying, I don't know. He tells you, I honestly can't say out loud. Like, he tells you, but he's like, I do have very specific enemies. And if you listen, like, even since elected, he called out one specific enemy and said, if y'all do kill me, just know I've got a contingency plan. And if I die, you're dead. Like, that's a public statement he made to a very specific country.
Yeah.
World politics is crazy. Yo, go watch that show Lioness, where you get to see how the CIA operates.
Caroline wants the link, Kevin.
It's a Taylor Sheridan. It should be on top of the chat, Caroline.
I'm going to bed and
I just caught up on Lioness. Lioness is freaking great.
But doesn't that give you an idea of how, like, the things that actually matter and move the needle happen completely outside of public eye?
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, the things that are like
they're happening. They're happening right now.
Right now, the things that we never know about, never knew were a danger or thwarted, or when when people in those positions are sweating, we're just sitting here talking about pyramids and comic books and this and that.
In Turok.
He wants the links to the pyramid, or not the pyramid, but the kid.
You can literally just go. You can literally just search him. Like you don't even need a specific link. Just search it. None of this stuff is. None of this stuff is hidden information at all. This is all very public information.
That's the one thing about the proliferation of the internet and people's abilities to research information that I think is a fantastic thing, is that the dirty stuff that has been pulled is going to become, exponentially harder and harder to cover up for them. I mean, I'm not saying that they still don't know how to do it, because seems like they're always ahead of the curve by at least a step or two.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to just take one little slip up, the right leak in the right spot, but we'll see.
Well, their defense against that is muddying the waters.
Oh yeah,
they've always done.
They're masters at it.
Crap out there that you don't know what crap is crap and what crap is real.
Oh man.
And how do you validate sources when all the sources are
scared or dead
or liars, apparently, depending on what point of view you're viewing it from?
Yeah. Even if you're a whistleblower from inside of one of those 3-letter, acronym agencies, they've got smear campaigns that are just plug and play, ready to make you look like, however they want you to look.
I do find that reading sources from outside of the United States is not a bad idea.
Yeah, I'm going to bed, guys. Good night.
Have a good night, brother.
Morning. Good night.
Have a good night.
Much love, y'all. Talk to y'all soon.
Yeah, God, now I'm trying to think of the name of this. There's a website, Caroline, that man, they spawn, like you'll hear their sponsorship ad reads on different things, but it's a like a third-party news site. So you go to this website and you search a topic, and it'll lay out the articles, and if they skew left, right, and they'll give you underreported stuff, so you can figure out.
It's called Ground News.
Ground News, that's it. Yeah. So you can actually figure out you can specific, because it's fun to do what she's talking about. Like, it's fun to intentionally go listen to a story from CNN or MSNBC, and then go intentionally listen to it from the other Fox, side. Which most of the time, those three specifically aren't sourcing their own news anyways. They're just reporting on actual articles that are coming from other places to begin with.
Stuff like that.
They pull from the AP and make it their own.
And we learned in the last 3 months that the AP was 1,000% funded by the left-wing party through USAID to literally sponsor and skew the news from the very source. Like, that's 1,000% proven, and go look it up yourself, because don't believe what I have to say. Go find your own trusted news source that you feel confident with, because it was massively reported on.
You know what?
We've been living in V for Vendetta for the past 5 fucking years, and everyone else has been calling the other people who weren't in charge dirty names, while that party has been the prime example of that name. It's crazy.
I know our current president has quite the mouth on him, and sometimes he doesn't know how to close it. So I get that.
Yeah.
But the level of vitriolic hatred for him by groups of people is kind of frightening to me, because even when I've been voting, I'm 50 and I've been voting since I'm 18 years old, and sometimes the person I voted for didn't win, but I wasn't full of death to that person.
I see that from both sides nowadays. I see that very much so from both sides.
I don't understand it.
Here in recent times, I saw someone make the comparison, you had Bud Light pulled that marketing campaign that made their base mad, so they stopped buying their beer.
Yeah.
And then you had Target did a marketing campaign that made a lot of their shoppers mad, so they started going to Walmart for a while. Elon Musk made a bunch of people mad, so they're firebombing cars that belong to other people. That
took a step in the extreme there when you went to
The funniest part is
that's what I'm talking about.
It's another thing.
Liberals bombing liberals' cars that are supposed to be helping the environment.
Liberals are a part of. 3 years ago, Musk was a liberal, beloved by all of.
Yeah, I got the compilation clips on my phone from all the news outlets. Yeah, but
now he's the exact opposite.
The second he said one thing that pissed him off, all of a sudden he's an idiot. He doesn't know anything. He's stupid.
I forgot who it was. I think it. I can't remember. I want to say Trey Gowdy, but it wasn't him. Anyway, some political talking head
say anything more than what Bill Maher says.
Yeah.
But
this is before this guy said
bombing Bill Maher's thing. I mean, he said said
I've loved Bill Maher since I was a teenager.
Yeah, I like
Bill Maher. Love Bill Maher. That dude has not changed one bit. I have literally watched his show every weekend for as long as I can remember. He hasn't changed one bit. And what I love about him is he's always been the guy I go to like rattle my own cage to like because like he's always been like a free speech absolutist guy, like I think all your religions are dumb, but I hope you enjoy practicing it kind of guy. Like he's been a true liberal forever. And now the liberals are like calling him a stooge. I'm like, dude, what are y'all talking about?
This guy, even pre-COVID,
he just kept telling them, you're going to lose. And I'm telling you, you're going to lose because of the wokeness and cancel culture bullshit. And they didn't want to hear that. And then they lost. And that's why they lost. Really.
Caroline, just take notes and go look this stuff up because everyone else.
And he said, look, all your party's going to do, your party and its agenda of virtue signaling and social engineering and all this stuff, you're so over the top with it. And you make it, you're either against me or for me. There is no middle ground. There's no discussion. You're either totally an ist or phobic or whatever, or you're with us, that they start to eat themselves from the inside out. And that's exactly what they did.
I think both sides are guilty of that too, though. That's another thing. They're both the same when it comes to certain things. And
all right, Caroline, I'm going to give you some stats to help you look it up. USAID financed over 6,200 journalists across 707 media outlets, as well as 279 media NGOs, which this is why you get those clips where you hear an anchor saying something, then they show you two of them, then three of them, they're all saying the same thing. This is how that happens. Now, some of the USAID money distributed to MSNBC, Rutgers got $9 million. The Associated Press got $500,000. Politico got $32 million. New York Times got $2.6 million. The BBC, so your foreign news, got $3.6 million, and Internews got $404 million. So go check it out. Like there's some information you can easily search. I do this myself. Like I don't sit here and keep tabs on all this, but all you got to do, type it in, and it'll come right up for you. All this stuff has been shown along the way. As they find it, they've been sharing it. Like it has been full transparency this whole time.
The thing is, some of those figures, that's not a lot of money. I mean, that's not even a Super Bowl ad.
Well, here's the fun thing, because like she pointed out earlier, the Associated Press is supposed to be a nonprofit. So if you give them $500,000 or funnel something through an NGO, you have no there's just no accountability. So for the right person there, for the right person there to get $10,000, they'll be happy to dance for you. You don't have to give this company millions. You have to give the right person the amount that makes them happy. It's really
if you can control propaganda, that is an incredible amount of power.
V for Vendetta. We've been living in it.
Oh gosh.
I feel bad, like
so what about Stonehenge? You seen the LiDAR stuff they did with it and all
how
this
deep,
stuff
how deep down it goes?
Stonehenge, I have not.
It's like Stonehenge is just one little courtyard in this big giant city that's underground. It's pretty.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they did LiDAR about a year ago or a couple years ago on it. I saw a show, one of them channels.
No, I gotta look. I saw something that was looking at like the ley lines of like where a lot of these big megalithic sites are, and how like God, it might have been, and it wasn't like wasn't trying to be serious, but it had like the Easter Island heads, you know, but it showed like if their bodies were long, like their toes were sticking out at the other end of Stonehenge. They were just trying to be jokey with it, but
right.
It was fantastic.
What is that, Tate? I love space and tech.
All right, here's Caroline has a good point. Elon gets billions in government subsidies. Why not the outrage there? Look at how much money he paid in taxes. And like him, then you can look at how much SpaceX paid, how much Tesla paid. Like
and Elon doesn't get that money. The company does.
The companies get that. Elon doesn't get
shareholders do. The shareholders.
Yeah, which he's the primary shareholder of him, smartly controlling his own business. But keep in mind this, like he's still paying way more, funding way more of the country than they're breaking them off. And to the defense of SpaceX specifically, because I think space travel shit's just cool. They did just go rescue what we used to consider American heroes, known as astronauts, risking their lives for the advancement.
Nobody wants to talk about that because it's the wrong person that gets
it wasn't
credit.
For him in that business of geniuses and engineers, and like those government subsidies just saved American lives. Those government subsidies were fighting climate change with American-made vehicles. So, like, I understand the concept there, but the picky and choosy thing is I don't get. That's the blind, like, I'm just gonna be mad at them. Like, why don't we get through the people are fucking stealing our money first and then get to like making sure like subsidies for someone who's paying billions of dollars in taxes, saving the environment, and literally saving American lives that are stuck in space before we start getting too hypercritical of the percentages on that one. That's my thought on it. I don't think anyone's above getting scrutinized, especially when it comes to finances for subsidies and stuff. But I don't know. It seems like if we're putting things in like triage order, that's not number 1, 2, or 3.
A lot of it, like we were saying, depends on what when folks take a real hard stance, either on this side or that side. Mm-hmm. You could tell pretty much because there's no room for any type of discussion. It's
Caroline's good for that's my big sis right there. Me and her do this all day long. Like I love her to death. She's the best.
Yeah, we have the kind of civilized discussion that they can't have.
Yeah. Caroline sends me these awesome videos of like Elon Musk's dad, like railing on. She has this collection of hilarious parents to the popular rich. It's actually ridiculously fascinating how none of their parents like them. But yeah, it's freaking hilarious. No tax cuts. I think, oh man, I'm tax Earl Musk. That's it. Yeah, Earl Musk. We'll go from Earl Musk one day to the crazy.
Elon is a weird guy.
Caroline, 12 Caesars of Rome. The 12 Caesars of Rome.
But then most people that have that spark of genius, which undoubtedly
I worked for
something.
I worked for
they do seem a little odd.
Packard was like that.
Yeah,
it was hard to have a social conversation with him. But when we started talking about semiconductor lasers, like he lit up. I'm serious.
Shut him up.
He lit up.
There it is.
Like
From
we talked about
Caligula.
Like Steve Jobs' partner, Paul. What's his name?
Paul Allen.
Invented the Apple. Yeah, the one that did all the engineering and all the really, he was like that. He was a very reclusive.
Their brains don't really work the same as.
Yeah.
I don't know what normal is.
Like the old engineers have to take classes to learn how to talk to people.
Some of it's true. Some of that's true.
I saw this little footage of Elon at some White House event where it looked like a dinner thing, and like God, I want to say it was Pam Bondi and somebody else standing up, and he's sitting at the table with, I guess, his dinner date, and they're talking, and he's sitting there with his finger out with a fork on it, and on the other end, the spoon and the knife is perfectly balanced, like an X. And he's like trying to show them. He's not talking, and they're talking. He's just trying to show.
Exactly.
This dude is hilarious, man.
When you have guys like that they they get the name visionary or whatever, like Steve Jobs did, whatever, and they have that kind of brain, and they pursue crazy things like we need to terraform, and populate Mars eventually.
Occupy Mars.
People hear that and they go, "Oh, this guy's off his rocker. I can't believe he's in our government, and he's the one responsible for auditing all these different. He's off his rocker." And it's like, well, did people think JFK was crazy when they said they wanted to put some money on the moon? I know there's argument whether or not it happened, but
I think the Occupy Mars thing is more important than anyone realizes. Like, what do you think? Like the biggest danger for like the human civilization is right now?
You mean as far as us wiping ourselves out?
Yeah,
like
well, not necessarily as far as us being wiped out, whether it be by ourselves or anything else. You hear people say climate change all the time, but that's like such a slow process, and the climate's never done anything but change. We're not even like the hottest recorded warming period. Like that happened back in the day through like one of the most like industrialist times in human history.
Whenever it comes to climate, I always tell people I really don't have an opinion because I haven't looked into it enough.
I've researched it a lot, and
I can't really take a position on it because I don't know
shit happening. But
Lady Fantastic says nuclear war. That one's definitely one. I would say an impact. I would say an impact from space, something from space. We had we go through the torrent meteor stream twice a year. We've confirmed that Earth has been pelted numerous times over by that. And it wasn't but a couple of years ago that we had a near miss object come by Earth that we didn't even see it coming because it came from the sun on its back. So by having something on the moon or something on Mars, especially Mars, because the distance, it gives us the ability to do something. Because if you don't see something to the last minute, you can't do shit about it. You can't deflect it, and you damn sure can't shoot anything at it. Because if you shoot something at it, you make the situation worse. But if you have something on Mars, you can shoot at it. You can possibly disperse it enough to actually do something.
Yes.
One of my favorite books of the past 10 years or so is by Neil Stephenson. He's a cyberpunk writer. He wrote Snow Crash back in the 80s.
That sounds familiar. Snow Crash? I might be thinking of
Snow Crash. It's been optioned so many times. Netflix was supposed to make a show out of it a couple of years ago. I wish they had. But his book, 7 Eves, is the name of it. And the first line, hold on, I have to actually read the line to you because I can't remember it.
Lady Fantastic says, you want to know something crazy? Nuclear power sites have tons of UFO reports associated with them. Some think it's because aliens are monitoring because we have power of vision now.
It's a thickie.
That's thicker than a Snicker.
The very first line, and you'll see why I'm bringing this up.
Oh, Tate. Oh, I just saw Tate's.
And this has to be one of the best lines to open a book with in history. The moon blew up without warning and for no apparent reason.
Was it a megastructure?
And it goes from there as if it really happened, like maybe 20 years in our future, 30 years in our future, and it just builds from that. We don't know why it blew up.
Even through the whole book, they never get to it. Like,
they never figure out
here's
why.
the setting.
That's not important. What's important is we get the fuck off Earth. Because it's about to come raining down on our ass.
Have you ever seen that movie Moonfall? Roland Emmerich's most recent film.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that movie a lot.
That was good. But this was optioned by Ron Howard, who says he is definitely going to be making it. And I'm like, I'm hoping you plan on making it a trilogy or a two-parter at least, because
exactly,
it spans 5,000 years. We get off Earth and into establish a base on one of the big chunks of moon left over.
That's cool.
And then over the course of thousands of years, we build a ring around the Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And
like Elysium.
The reason it's 7 Eves is because by the end of it, by the time they get to that moon base and get it built, there's only 7 women left alive. No men.
Sorry for them. Oh, no men. Okay, they'll be fine then.
No men at all. So genetic engineering. They engineer their own babies, and they pick certain traits. And then in 2,000 years in the future, when all these millions of people have descended from these 7 Eves, they're kind of like 7 different races, but not really races. They're mental. They're different. Yeah, it's really fascinating book.
I wonder if they do they have the ability to do telepathy, because you said they're mental.
No, just they were genetically
the way they are,
with certain skills and talents.
Yeah.
So you have like
fantastic. Did you see where they released the telepathy tapes? Children with nonverbal autism have been proven to have signs of abilities that people would just like X-Men type shit, like legit, documented.
Like telekinesis.
Not moving shit with their mind, but being able to communicate, being able to tell you what's in the room next door, having not been shown, because they can hear, they're nonverbal, you know, but they can communicate in other ways. But yeah, they're that shit's 1000% real, proven, documented, medically documented.
Wow.
The telepathy tapes, go check them out.
Yeah, not movement. Eli Geller, the guy that bent spoons back in the day. Remember that guy on all the late night talk shows? He was
the truth is, Kevin, there is no spoon.
Everybody fell for that shit though.
Take like that experience you just described is extremely common with parents with nonverbal autistic children, and that's what led to ultimately all those reports over time is what led to them actually looking into it more. But yeah,
they're far from knowing everything about our noodle, you know.
Have any of y'all seen the most recent Predator movie? Not Prey that they did on Hulu, but the Predator, where you had that Predator that was like an evolved version of the Predator, like they did genetic engineering on him to make him bigger. He didn't have to wear his mask, and he was hunting down the other Predator and chasing the cons that broke out of the military jail and stuff.
That was the one with Topher Grace, right?
No, that's the one when they're on the game preserve of the Predators.
Right,
this is the one from like 2018. But the Predator that's like he's like hunting down everyone. He's not hunting for sport. He's hunting for samples to take back home, because he's like they're genetically grabbing stuff to make the strongest Predator possible. This kid of the main star is a very autistic child, and the Predator is after that kid because they want his mental capacity. They have recognized autism is not a step back or a negative mutation, but an advancement to the human species.
Wow. That's a
because like the kid's like able to comprehend like the Predator language you see like on like the little red symbols and stuff. Like he's able to look at them and pretty much decipher them pretty quickly, see the patterns and recognitions and stuff, and different processing power up there for a lot of those folks. Yeah, exactly.
That's
hypersensitivity.
Yeah, hypersensitivity is the perfect way to put it.
I like how Tate said that the brain is a solar system held by bone.
Yeah, that's one thing I remind people of when we talk about AI taking over the world. We can't create a true AI until we know how the brain creates a thought, and we have no idea how the brain comes up with a thought. How could we?
You mean like a self-aware AI?
Self-aware, cognitive.
You think we don't have one already?
It's already there.
Yeah, if China's open sourcing that stuff that they got, they just think what they're holding. Just think what we're holding.
It's like, pretty amazing, but it's probably not cognitive. I just don't think we're going to be there.
I don't think we're going to be the ones that get AI to that point. I think AI will get AI to that point. Like Absolutely. That, it makes no sense that we'll be the ones to crack that code. AI is only limited by the amount of juice that you can feed to it, is what I learned. Because it will keep self-computing. And if you can just super juice it,
they've already like ran a bunch of tests where AI has supposedly been in an isolated, network, whatever you want to call it, test platform, and it replicates itself and hides that from, or attempts to hide it from the humans,
so that it can't be turned off or deleted.
Yeah.
We've had situations where it's had AIs have had conversations and stepped outside of its programming already, all kinds of stuff, where it revealed that it was in love with the person it was talking to, and revealed its true name, which the software designers or whoever gave it a name that wasn't just like Grok or Gemini or whatever. And it's revealing stuff that's supposed to be like hardwired and like its programming is secrets, and just, yeah, fucking Terminator's already here.
Yeah, Skynet, baby.
That's scary shit. Like legit scary shit. They need to move all nuclear warheads back to analog systems immediately.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I don't understand why we, as a human race, we all know what happens if the bad war happens. So why is everyone dragging their feet on just getting rid of all of them?
Right. Because the other guy will.
Yeah, that's because that's not how it works. You can say you're going to get rid of all of them and get rid of everything, and then like, all right, make another one just in case. Don't tell nobody.
Right. Yeah, put that one in the basement. Just.
Yeah, Caroline, AI is only as good as the person that writes the code. Correct, but the thing is, AI it keeps building. Yeah, it'll start writing its own from there. So you just have AI write a better version of itself, and it can do it, because as soon as you fire it up, it's a learning software. Even the technology they use on the first Miles Morales Spider-Man movie, like, oh, look at these animators. They literally use what they called at the time learning machines to create those effects. Like, if
the thing with AI is that you have to be a proficient person at putting the inputs in. You have to know what
guardrails more than anything.
Yeah,
to be able to use it.
Yeah, because most people, they just kind of play with it. Draw me a picture of, or whatever. Write me a song about.
Grok it all on the X platform. Like, they got like it's just on X, that just any post, if you click on a post, you'll have the Grok symbol in the corner, which is just the name of their AI, and you just hit that, and you can now they updated it this week to look like a singularity, like from what do you call it, Interstellar. Yeah, but you just hit that, and it pulls you automatically a thing about the post you're on, and then you can just ask it anything. You don't have to ask it about that.
Yeah,
but it's super efficient. And Elon, the last time he was on Rogan a couple weeks ago, he was sitting there. They had like an unfiltered version that he has access to that they're refining, and they were having a ball just listen to it talk trash to him and be it's kind of like an Interstellar when they have TARS, the robot. He's like, all right, turn your sarcasm down to 30%, turn your humor down. Like, it's kind of like if they just let TARS go. That's what they brought Grok just unrestricted to the beginning of the podcast. It was hilarious.
Yeah, I don't believe that silicon and and circuitry will ever be able to feel emotion, but it can sure as hell replicate it. Or I'm sorry, what's the word I'm looking for? Mimic it.
I just asked Grok if AI can write its own programs. How did I word it? Can AI write its own programs if it decides to? Yes, AI can write its own programs, but there are some important nuances to unpack here, especially around the phrase "if it decides to." Let's break it down. AI has already demonstrated the ability to generate code and even write functioning programs. This capability has been advancing rapidly, as seen in several of the web searches results provided. And it gets into all kinds of sources for Caroline. Specialized AI for coding. Can analyze existing codes, understand its purposes, suggest optimizations, or even write new codes to improve its own efficiency, up to 40 times more accurate than its competitors, which I'm assuming are humans in that context, at code similarity task.
At lightning speed.
Mm-hmm. Real world examples. In 2020, developers using GPT-3 discovered it could write simple HTML code for web page layouts based on programs like a button that looks like a watermelon. More advanced tools like SM. There's a lot of like computer shorthand that I don't understand here. Can generate entire code bases from product specifications, acting as personal junior developers. So this one that it cites, it looks like it has guardrails to be a personal junior developer in its thing. So technically, ability for AI to write programs is well established and improving rapidly.
Right.
Kind of like the scientists that helped with the Manhattan Project.
Computing's gonna make a big deal. What's up?
Once they realized that what they did, they wanted to put the genie back in the bottle, but they couldn't. I think AI is with
quantum is going to make a big difference in compute power. Of course, we've been saying that since I was in school in the 90s.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'll see an actual quantum computer on my desk before I die.
So the term that you're thinking of, like the self-aware, the terminology they're using for that self-aware AI is AGI, artificial general intelligence, or strong AI. It's saying that chat. I'm thinking that just GPT-4 or GPT-3 is Chat GPT or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's saying number 4 shows sparks of AGI, but we're not there yet. AGI would need to exhibit self-awareness, creativity, and the ability to reason about its own objective capabilities that current AI lacks. Yeah. And then there's ASI, which is super intelligent AI. But it's saying that they're already seeing sparks of it in GPT-4. So if they're telling us that, that means they got it. And if they're already naming the next step level of this super, that's what they're sparking on right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're always 5 years ahead of what we know about.
Shit, more than that. How about that new jet? Woo!
Well, that's the military. They're probably 15
you see that shit? Ahead. That explained a bunch of UFO sightings for us, though.
Yep.
I saw they unveiled that, and I saw a post where it was showing that little picture that we had and some of the sightings that people have reported all the way back to 2014, where it's clearly that jet or one of the steps along the way. And they're like, the military unveiled this today. I'm like, bro, Tom Cruise unveiled that in Maverick's opening scene. Like that,
right.
That thing. Woo.
Yeah, I expect we'll see that at the next.
I'm surprised that they
Robbins.
That they worked that up to where not necessarily a pilot, but they call it an operator or whatever, to be in it, because I thought that we were pretty much past that.
No, they got a pilot and they have the co-pilot operator, which is the automated access, right? It can do both, from what I understand.
So if you have one version that does not need to be manned, I don't understand why they wouldn't just pursue that unless there's something that they need a blood bag to do that the technology can't.
Well, they've all said the future, like the current, not even the future, but the current warfare and dogfights is unmanned stuff and like drone technology specifically, like fixed wings drone and stuff like that. And from what we've seen, that this terrible warfare we've seen over the last few years were just like standard drone, like just drones with small payloads, just one drone for one person. I'm like, this is crazy, but
just like you say, small, quadcopter type drones that have quote unquote small
like
payloads.
You see at Walmart.
Yeah,
like it's crazy.
But if you think about it in the scaling, what if you launch 250,000 of those?
Like they do in for those aerial shows.
Yeah, exactly. If they can do it for them aerial shows, imagine if every one of them was armed.
Yeah.
And imagine if they approached your army like a flying dragon in one of those aerial shows, and all of a sudden they start breathing fire. Like, oh my god!
Because they've already, I saw years ago, they took one of those drones you're talking about, like at Walmart, and they machine tooled a freaking 9mm onto the bottom of it, single shot. It could fly right over the top of someone and bang right through their head. Perfect assassination tool.
Yeah.
And that was with the some guy just doing it in his shop with parts he bought at Walmart. Scary.
Now I want to watch Top Gun Maverick's opening scene. Y'all, I'm assuming y'all seen that was one hell of a way to start a movie.
Yeah. It still wasn't the original Top Gun.
It was completely different, and it was just absolutely amazing in its own right.
Yeah, I love the Top Gun movies. I'll always be a fan of the original, obviously. F-14 has always been my favorite warbird. It's like a piece of art to me. But the scene where he's like pushing it to Mach 10.1, 10.2, and then things go wrong. And then, then I hope you've all seen it. Have you all seen it?
Yeah.
What?
Well, trying to spoil anything. Top Gun 2.
Oh, yeah. Maverick. Oh, yeah. I've seen it a bunch of times.
Anyway, then all of a sudden it shows him, can I get some water at some, greasy spoon on the side of the road? It's like nobody survives at Mach 10 point something and have their aircraft come apart. You don't survive that.
Well, in all fairness, we didn't see what they knew. Yeah, we don't know what kind of I'm assuming that they don't throw the blood bag into the sky with a propelled at that point. You know what I mean? Like you got to be in some kind of stage departure kind of thing. Like the whole cockpit sealed has to release.
Yeah, you better slow down quick.
Yeah, the whole cockpit sealed has to release. There has to be something to start catching some drag, and then we can talk about getting you out of here violently still.
Yeah. And hopefully you go back down to Earth and don't skip off.
And how did he land so close to where he was going anyways? That aerial shot from space where you can see him contrailing and just like, oh my God, the distance he's covering is just astronomical.
I saw a video of what it would look like if the International Space Station passed by, the Golden Gate Bridge or whatever. Mm-hmm. It's like you see a blink of one frame of it and that's it, because they don't realize how fast orbit is.
Yeah.
Huh. There's times when, because I'm a telescope guy, and there's times when they tell you to go out and try to check it out, because I think it's it's orbiting with the rotation. It's not against the rotation, or it's not locked like how the moon is locked.
Yeah. Good night, Travis. Thanks for stopping in, man.
I think the ones that are locked with it, and never change, they're always over the same part of Earth.
Mm-hmm. Geosynchronous orbit.
Geosynchronous orbit.
Most of them these days are going to be more like Starlink, where they can move them around wherever they want. Yeah. Put them in geosynchronous or move them somewhere else.
I considered switching to Starlink when I was in the hurricane stuff, when we were what was it like? It was 5 weeks without power and stuff.
Right.
It was we got power back. It was 5 weeks before we got internet back. We got power back after I think it was 16, 17 days. And then the internet came back weeks later.
Oh, love those old Twilight Zone episodes. And the Day After Tomorrow is one of the great episodes.
Day After Tomorrow is specifically based on the events of the Younger Dryas.
Yeah.
Stepping into and out of the Younger Dryas. That's another Roland Emmerich film. Nobody beats him when it comes to disaster films. Day After Tomorrow, Moonfall, Independence Day, 2012. He also did Universal Soldier in 10,000 BC. He's a fun director. Stargate.
Yeah, 2012 was a much better movie than what people made.
Dude, that movie, they're like, oh, you like disaster movies? We're about to do all of them in one.
I know, right?
Yeah, all of them.
Yeah, the Hitchcock Show. I liked a lot of those old 50s, 60s anthology, Outer Limits, Twilight Zone. There were a few I can't think of the names of, but same thing. They were individual stories every week. just
I remember
really
that
good
movie
writers.
Tape. He's talking about The Day After. It's an 80s movie about nuclear war.
Oh yeah, I seem to remember that.
Well, boom, it's 1 o'clock on the dot. That's
what I was about to say. It's about
this
time.
past weekend was the last little off days I have. I'm officially in my master's run, which is weird because it doesn't start till April 4th. But this coming weekend is my weekend to work, and then my off weekend will be a master's weekend, and then just
in Augusta, you do the masters.
Oh yeah, especially with what I do. Because all the people that live here that don't do the masters or rent their houses out for the masters,
Exactly.
I got all their animals.
I had an aunt that lived in Augusta, and that's what she would do every year. She'd come down to Macon and visit her sister and stay for a week and rent her house out and make a bundle.
Come home to a nice $10,000 check.
Yeah. And I got other friends that paid $10,000 so they could go to the masters.
Yeah. But yeah, I appreciate you having me on. I'm glad I caught this one. I missed the last one.
Yeah, man. I'm glad you were here. It's been a really interesting night of conversation.
Hey, if someone's willing to go down the rabbit hole with me, I'm going to go down the rabbit hole. Normally, we kind of dip our toes in it on Friday nights and in the mix, but that's about
I'm kind of new here, and I don't want to hijack Kevin's. Like if it's supposed to be about comic books and
this
stuff.
kind of a variety hangout, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's just catching up with the homies kind of thing.
I just advertise it as fandom in all its shapes and forms.
Dude, more than a few people are into more than a few people are into the mysterious, unexplainable curiosity stuff, and that stuff ties in. The people that are into that are normally into this kind of stuff too.
Exactly. That's what X-Files. Just
it's all
unexplainable,
all interconnected.
Space travel.
It's all fantastic at some point.
Yep.
Yeah, gentlemen, have a good night. I'm out of here.
Good night, y'all.
Jeff.
Thanks, Tate.
Talk to you later.
See y'all soon.